just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number, courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
In this bulletin, Prime Minister commends Chinese community's efforts in Fiji. New freehold subdivision for sale in Nausori. And Kadavu roads in for major improvement. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate, and this is FBC News. The Chinese Association of Fiji will soon be launching a book on the history of the many Chinese families that settled here in Fiji. This was announced at the Chinese New Year celebrations in Suva today. Ellen Stahls has more.
This year marks the 40th anniversary of Fiji-China diplomatic relations and the 160th anniversary of the first Chinese into Fiji.
The Chinese community in Fiji is very proud of the flourishing relationship between China and Fiji. Last year, Fiji welcomed President Xi Jinping to our shores, and this historic visit demonstrates a deep respect and commitment by both countries to strengthen economic links and cultural ties. President Xi's visit has been the catalyst for further interest by the Chinese in tourism and investment in Fiji.
Sito says the association also has more exciting plans for the year.
We will be planning events around this, and will also launch a book on the history of the many Chinese families in Fiji and their contribution to our beloved country.
The chief guest at the event was the Prime Minister of Orenge Bainimarama, who commended the Chinese community for the vital role they've played in the development of Fiji as a nation.
The Chinese were one of the earliest groups of foreign settlers to come to Fiji, and the Chinese community has played an important role in our nation's development. We pay tribute to their contribution today and thank the community for their loyalty to our nation, their dedication and their hard work.
He added that the increased number of Chinese visitors from China in recent years have helped our tourism industry tremendously.
We are expanding our economic ties and strengthening our cultural and educational exchanges. I'm told that the annual volume of trade between China and Fiji has reached $695 million Fijian dollars and is growing on current figures by 12% a year.
Bainimarama also paid tribute to the Chinese government, saying it stuck by Fiji in 2006 when most traditional partners had abandoned the country. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
One of the last pieces of undeveloped freehold land in the Central Division is up for sale. Owned by the Hexagon Group of Hotels, the site in the Vuilevu Nausori is being subdivided in commercial and residential blocks. Ritika Pratap reports.
Vitivo Estates, a subsidiary of Hexagon Group of Hotels, is a 27.29-acre freehold property along the King's Highway.
Many have been out there, and we've already got a lot of the sales already done in terms of sale and purchase agreements. So that's on its way. The developers would like to, of the commercial lots, retain the 3 so that there's a commercial center, but there are 2 blocks there for sale. But obviously the commercial blocks are also available for leasing.
Freehold land is rare, even more so in places such as the Vuilevu, which is experiencing its own boom. The sale also comes at a time when the government is supporting first homeowners and small businesses. There will be 5 commercial lots towards the King's Highway, and the development will also offer 147 residential lots. The prices will range from $145,000 to $115,000.
We have designs that that homeowners want to look at and that they can use. These are very modern upmarket designs. We also have, if the buyers want us to do to build for them, where they want to do a land and house package with us, we can. We also have a preferential loan arrangement with the bank, HFC Bank.
The site is 5 minutes walking distance from the Nausori town and is one of the last freehold development sites left along the Suva-Nausori corridor.
It makes a lot of commercial sense that, when you think about, especially when the road is done, it's not that far. But you're going to own your own home, it's freehold, it's going to appreciate in value, and you're going to be in a community, right? Not, in terms of security and considerations like that.
Dixon Sito says they hope to finish development works by the end of the year. The group had the land in possession for some time now, and Sito says successful elections created the right environment for sales to begin. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Commissioner Eastern Office will control the funding of rural roads in Kadavu in the coming months. Watisoni Raikandroka joined the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama on his tour of Kadavu and files this report.
The Commissioner Eastern Office will now call the shots when it comes to roadworks in Kadavu.
I know that the development of roads will be more quicker than expected because I'm not so happy on the development of roads that has been carried out for the last 2 years.
Vorenge Bainimarama raised his concern about Fiji Roads Authority and MWH delaying roadworks, adding that the government has allocated huge amounts of money for the development of rural roads. He says the results aren't as convincing as they should be. The Prime Minister also says the Commissioner's Office should be better able to manage the roadworks in Kadavu now that it will administer the funding. Assistant Minister for Rural Development Choweli Gawaki says they have already prepared a few road projects for 2015.
From Naloto to Lomati, Daku to Choma, and also the upgrading of roads from Choma to Nambukelewira.
The government allocated $3 million for roads in Kadavu and development is still going on. Watisoni Raikandroka, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, we profile award-winning beauty product company Pure Fiji.
FM number 2 and the Rangonan in Denmark Central Rental Support Nisabola.
Oya watisoni dalai.
Gonga ya mozidon.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kena bitu. Ena via kabi moliti kena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM number 2 and the
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has directed that roads in Vunise Kadavu be tar-sealed in order to attract more investors to the island. During a Talano session in Vunise, Bainimarama highlighted that the pine owned by the people of Yahweh is almost ready for harvesting, but they need good roads. The Prime Minister told them of his intention to have tar-sealed roads in rural towns as a positive sign for new businesses. He's also directed the Commissioner Eastern's office to take over the funding of all road projects in Kadavu.
Now the people of Yahweh wanted to harvest their pine and process them here. That is why good roads is needed here.
Bainimarama toured Kadavu last week. It's the only Fijian brand you can buy at Harrods in the United Kingdom, and in 2002 made it into the highly prized Emmy Awards winner gift bags. Tonight on Successful Fijians, we talk to the woman behind the success of Pure Fiji, Gaitan Austin, about the empire she's built.
Gaetan Austin is a twice-widowed mother of 7 children, so being resourceful was a necessity, one that led to the empire we now know as Pure Fiji.
Well, Pure Fiji sort of came at the tail end of them growing up. I only had 2 children still at school here when we started Pure Fiji, and they would grumble because they'd come home from school and then I'd say, okay, homework, cup of tea, and then you help us. This is a family business.
Born in Vanuatu and nurtured across the Pacific Islands before making Fiji home, her father a manager for the Mauritian chain of stores at the time. Austin's love for Fiji and all its natural wonders was inbred at a tender age.
Because we're Pacific Islanders here, we're all born in the Pacific, and, to us this is our home. And of course we want to preserve our traditions, and whilst using them in such a manner that they do provide incomes for local people, so that is a big wish of ours. We could import this oil from Philippines or wherever, at vastly reduced costs, even with shipping and everything else, but we want people to learn to use what's available here for their benefit, but without destroying the environment at the same time,
The concept for Pure Fiji actually started with a stare out of a car window and a long-practiced Fijian mosquito repellent.
Very simple, really, because we go past a settlement on our way to work every day, and the children there always look so beautiful. I don't know how their mothers do it, but their uniforms are always very neatly pressed, and then their legs and arms and hair is just gleaming, and with coconut oil, of course. And I thought, if these people are so adept at using coconut oil to make their children look so beautiful and must keep the mosquitoes off and keeps their skin moisturized and everything, what we doing something with coconut oil?
With their family savings of $8,000, Gaetan and her daughter Austin set up Sand Dollars in 1995. They produced only 2 products at the time, coconut oil and soap. Their supply sold out at Tapu's. Following that, there was a $20,000 order. This is what set the business rolling. From a staff of 1 and the Austins' 2 kids at the time, Pure Fiji has grown to employ 150 here at the factory, supporting their families and hundreds more in the community. For Austin, the family business has simply grown as much as her family, with staff referring to her as Mum.
Well, we started off with 1, and her name was Losana. And she's still very precious to us. She stays in the village now, but we never forget to mention her. And then it grew to about 11. Then we moved to rented premises, which we eventually bought in Lalita Bindi Street. And that is now the site of our soap factory, Maggie. And then we had to get more people for that. Then we bought this piece of land, built on it. But at one stage we only had about 11 employees. Now we've got 150. So it's quite a challenge.
It's quite a big family.
It is a big family.
And the business is expanding to new markets. This Chinese New Year signalling the very first time that Pure Fiji is exporting direct to China.
I think that's been nibbling at us for a long time. But when you expand to a place which is far away from you, actually, you have to be very, very certain of the people who are going to represent you. And half my time now is always spent reviewing contracts or making new contracts or checking on quasi-legal things, because you can't monitor things. I mean, the chances of us going to some of the areas that sell our products are very remote, so you have to rely to a certain extent on the integrity of the person who's representing you, and if they aren't representing you well, they will always get the other people who nobble them in because they're hoping to get a bite of the slice of cake.
And for the first time, you're going to China.
Yes,
here in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
and you're
packing the container right now
with the Rene soap.
Yes.
That's exciting. It's a huge market.
Yes,
the potential for growth, and it's just,
Oh, it is.
stratospheric.
It is. It's terribly exciting because that's a huge market.
At the core of Pure Fiji's success is its green policy to ensure that everything used at the manufacture of their products is used in its entirety.
Andre is just absolutely amazing. She goes to all these trade shows and she sees what current trends are and how we in the Pacific can use our natural resources without destroying them. You know, and when you use coconuts, of course, you don't really destroy anything. And then you look around for other things that are worthwhile. And when noni, we're doing noni soap now in great quantities, and that's becoming very popular. You know, and then, of course, you don't destroy the tree. And we engage botanical harvesters what a fancy name that is, Maggie. But anyhow, they collect the fruit and the leaves and everything, bring them into us. And we have solariums where we dry all this. And it's a very fascinating business. And, you know, we in the Pacific are so rich because we have all this growing around us.
What has stood out for Pure Fiji and what has enabled it to continue to be a high-end brand is the mere fact that it has been able to tap into traditional knowledge, working with modern technology and utilizing natural everyday ingredients in abundance.
We've become aficionados of coconut oil in any shape or form because it is the best oil in the world, unquestionably.
At the heart of the brand, though, is Austin. And for her, Pure Fiji will always be a family business, one that will flourish as long as her lineage. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Coming up in FBC Sports, national coach helps out Telecom Fiji Warriors for Pacific Challenge. And Ben Ryan wants Nausori Viriviri for Hong Kong Sevens.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulabinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause
Welcome back. This is FBC Sports. Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee will be working closely with the Telecom Fiji Warriors camp during the Pacific Challenge, which kicks off next month. McKee is hoping to create a common style of play to establish the Fijian brand of rugby. Chalendau Vakadaka has more.
Fiji will be hosting the Pacific Challenge in 3 weeks' time. The Telecom Fiji Warriors have been in camp over the past week and have been receiving expert tips from Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee.
It's really good that the boys are in training this week. They've been working very, very hard. I've been involved with the coaches and working through a couple of the sessions and helping the coaches with their planning. Well, one of the objectives that I want to achieve as Flying Fijians coaches is that we get a style of play for the Fiji 15s teams, and it goes down through the Warriors, through the under-20s, and even get it down to the under-18s.
McKee will not restrict his time to the Warriors alone and will be working with other representative teams so that there is a natural progression in place from the national age grade teams to the Flying Fijians.
The reason we want to do that is so as players progress through the pathway, they understand the type of game we want to play, and also we develop the skills in our players to play the Fijian game. So as players get to the Flying Fijians, that they're equipped with the skill set we require to play the game at the highest levels.
The Pacific Challenge will be held in Fiji with the kick-off date scheduled for March 10th. Chalendau Vakadaka, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is hoping to retain the services of speedster Nausori Viriviri for the Asian leg of the World 7 Series. The France-based winger made an impressive return to the abbreviated code in Wellington and Las Vegas and showed why he is the reigning World Rugby Sevens Player of the Year.
I've spoken to Montpellier. We've got IRB regulations behind us. He won't need to come back to the island before Hong Kong because he's had that fitness in those two tournaments, so he can meet us directly in Hong Kong if selected. So certainly at the moment we're just making sure that he's available, and then after that we'll look at trying to include him.
The Hong Kong Sevens will be held on March 27th to the 29th, with the Tokyo Sevens in Japan to be held a week later. Nandi has returned to the top of the Galaxy Premier Football League after defeating neighbours Lautoka 2-1 at Prince Charles Park. The Jet Setters needed the win to overtake Lambasa on the points table. In the other league match, Rewa beat Kadavu Nausori 2-0, while the lone senior league match saw Rakiraki beat Vatukola 2-1. Sambeto Roosters claimed the cup title at the Vodafone Nines Rugby League tournament at Prince Charles Park in Nandi yesterday. The Nandi-based side fielded 2 teams in the competition, and both teams reached the finals. Officials decided not to hold the cup final and handed over the $3,000 prize money for cup winners and $1,000 for runners-up to the Roosters. India has amassed 141 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in 29.1 overs in their Cricket World Cup match against South Africa at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The defending champions lost opening batsman Rohit Sharma early after he was run out with the score on 9, following a direct hit from South African skipper A.B. de Villiers. India is fielding the same lineup that defeated arch-rivals Pakistan in the first round. In the other match played today, Sri Lanka defeated Afghanistan by 4 wickets. Rain was experienced over most parts of the country today. A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain lies slow moving over Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Wallis and Futuna and Tonga. Meanwhile, a moist east to northeast wind flow prevails over most Pacific Island countries. A hot day all over the country. And Nandi topped off at 34 degrees this afternoon. There's going to be more showers over the Fiji group, however the west will see a bit of sun in the morning. Further outlook for Tuesday, occasional rain, heavy at times and few thunderstorms over most places. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate southerly swells. And recapping our headlines tonight, Chinese community contributions to Fiji commended. One of the last remaining blocks of freehold land in Nausori has been subdivided for sale as commercial of residential lots, and Prime Minister wants to see improvement on Kadavu roads. To our poll segment now, we're asking, are there enough public conveniences? Visit our FBC website, www.fbc.com.fj, to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. Good night.